Hello, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, we're still going to have the Valentine's decor on here for just a little bit longer. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, I wanted to do just basically a roundup of things I feel like I haven't used in a while. I just thought that might be fun to do, just kind of get reacquainted with some things. Drugstore, high-end. I just went through my collection last night and I was like, ooh, haven't grabbed that in a while, haven't used that, and that's going to be the look today. It's a real hodgepodge, but hopefully it gets us kind of reacquainted with some of these things. I know at least a few of these things I'm sure a lot of other people are using very frequently, but for whatever reason, I just haven't picked them up much. Okay, my primer is a classic example of that. I pulled out my e.l.f. Power Grip. I never use this. It looks totally full because it's not been used very much. I do have the little mini niacinamide one that looks kind of pink in the tube. I've probably grabbed for that a little bit more for whatever reason, but I've just always found this primer to be very sticky, very unpleasant to blend across the skin. I just feel like I'm putting goo on my skin and forcing it. But I know that the tackiness factor is beneficial. I know it helps staying power, but I can't help but feel like I'm taking glue and just swiping it all over the face. Now I'm remembering why I don't use this one much. Oh, I decided to go over my brows now and I'm looking like crazy. Brows are like, we didn't ask for this. My goodness. I mean, I could declutter that stuff. I think I probably will. I do not like putting that on. Okay, starting off with a bang. Now, for foundation, I pulled out my Patrick Ta, the face palette here, the cream foundation and finishing powder duo. I have it in light 4. So this has, just like it says, you've got your cream foundation, finishing powder. I just haven't used this as much as I thought I would, really. I remember being pretty enthusiastic when I got it, and now I'm just kind of like, oh, I haven't used that much. Like, I even feel unfamiliar about putting it on. I do have the brush for it, this little double-ended guy. I know this is supposed to be the side that puts on foundation, but I'm kind of wondering, like, do I want to swipe it on first? I think I might do that. I'm gonna go into the cream, and I'm gonna dot it around my face a little bit, just so I can be sure that I'm getting some down, you know what I mean? I don't know, do I not trust the product? I'm not sure why I feel the need to do this, but I do. So I woke up like at a really odd time this morning. I woke up at like 3. I didn't get up then, but I was awoken because there was a cat in our room like messing with a bag of something, and it got me all woken up. And from that point on, like, I remember actually all of my dreams, like that short period of time between 3 and 4:30. I could tell you about my dreams. One of them was my kitchen was like the waiting room for a team that was in a cheerleading competition. And I had girls like just sitting on my stove and just people all over. And I just start talking to them about, like, I start putting on a presentation about ice rollers for the face for these girls. And I remember thinking they don't seem into it, but I just kept going. Of course, my kitchen would be a staging area for dozens of high school cheerleaders. What in the world? Okay, so that's all blended out. Look how luminous it seems. Oh, the surface of the skin looks really, really natural. Maybe the amount I applied, maybe I should go in with just a little more straight off the brush because the coverage just seems so light, like very light to medium. I know this is supposed to be a really skin-like foundation, but still. Can we cover some things? All the things are still waiting on my face, waiting to be covered. And guys, we are actually, I'm shooting this on Friday, we are actually expecting snow today. The ALEXA right up there said snow expected, and I had like one of those special weather statements on my phone this morning. Very excited. So we still got that powder. I think I'll pull that in after I do some concealer maybe. Oh, we got a couple of things I pulled out here concealer wise. One is my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This was purchased not all that long ago, but I've not been using it. It's NW15. And then also my Rare Beauty little brightener thing. This is in the shade Light. I'm not sure about putting this over this because I know this kind of like gets into a long wearing state. Maybe I'll pre-brighten a little bit with some of this Rare Beauty. Ooh, it does feel good. Feels nice around the eye. Okay, and then I'm just gonna dab that in. This is my little e.l.f. Duo brush. That brightened, I feel, a little bit. I just think there aren't a lot of circumstances where I think to use this, right? I'm just like grabbing a concealer that I think I like, that should do the job, and the end. Also, the kids get out early today at 11:05. They don't even have lunch. Now I've got this. And I feel like I'm gonna want a sponge to blend that out. So maybe I'll take this sponge. This is what I've been using lately, this Sonia Kashuk. I'm gonna dampen it and I'll be right back. This concealer, if you've never used it before, it comes out of a little pump. I recall back in the day absolutely loving this stuff. I feel like it's gonna spurt out and go everywhere, so I'm scared of it. Maybe this is why I stay away from it. Okay, we got some out. Didn't feel like it wanted to come out, but it came out. Okay, thin, but has a lot of coverage potential. Okay, so that's kind of why I brought in the sponge. I just wanted some help with that. I'm gonna try to tackle a few little problem zones. I'm gonna try to brighten up, wake up, and then I'm just gonna take my little spongy. Oh, we're gonna be so bright up in here. I think I need an extra brightening product. I must have forgotten how light my shade was in this. Okay, it's all good. Just keep it rolling. Okay, I think we're blended in enough. We're brightened. We're definitely covered. Okay, and then I pulled out my Believe Beauty loose powder. This might be a situation where I'm trying to like protect myself because I feel like this stuff's becoming a little harder to come by sometimes, the Believe Beauty stuff, and I just don't want to set myself up for disappointment, so I try to distance myself a little bit. But I do love this powder so much. It's so fine. A lot of it poured out of my container here, but I'm gonna dab that on my under eye. It's super smooth. I'm just putting it on and then I'll dust it away. I adore this loose powder though. And this is the brand that's exclusive to Dollar General. And then dust away any excess, which there is some. All right, and I didn't forget about the powder in the Patrick Ta Compact. And we have this little end of the brush that's real, like, kind of light and wispy. Oh, I'm so excited for some snow today. I can't wait. So I'm just gonna lightly take that over the rest of my face just for a little setting. Do you see how that kind of mattified that cheek? Oh, the brow with the Power Grip primer in it. Maybe that's a new hack for somebody. I got so much of that in there. This has just been such a crazy hodgepodge of things that I've pulled out for this video. Then I was looking at my bronzer and contour stuff and I was like, hey, you haven't pulled this in lately as your contour. Like I've used my light shade of it as primer quite often, but this is my 2.5 medium deep warm, and once upon a time I used this contour with, so we're gonna crank it up and put that on as well. I know it'll be kind of soft, but it's fun, right? Oh yeah, that's blending in with ease. So this product is kind of like a Hollywood Flawless Filter-esque type of thing. I really like the texture, the consistency, how light and thin it is on the skin. That's why I love using my light shade as a primer. It just makes sense to use it that way. But one fine day I got compelled to buy it in a deeper shade to contour with, as though I needed more contour options. And it is super duper easy to work with, as you can see. I am getting a contour. Okay, the skin really needed some of that. I think that looks good. I also pulled in another bronzer here. This is from One Size. This is their Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio, the medium one. And it just comes with 3 powder bronzers. And I think the reason why I haven't been reaching for this is just because maybe when it comes to mind, I just think I don't need it to be that complicated. I don't know. I don't need a palette. I just need one. I'll go to the middle one here and we'll just use that for a little extra bronziness. It's a great product, actually. The textures are really nice. Like the compact. Really love the One Size packaging. Yeah, we're just gonna swirl some of that. Maybe I'll take a little bit of the lighter shade just to help me blend. And I like my little blush palette that I have too. That one feels a little more like something I really want to use. It's got the different textures in it of blush. Like there's a cream, there's powder, and there's shimmer. And I need to take some of this bronze down the neck because I'm like blending in with my shirt here. I think I put this in a random thought in my info box not too long ago, but honestly, this idea has really taken off, and I think it's hilarious for the amount of time that I spend playing with Bubba with his little people. By the way, I call him Ugga now more than Bubba, so there's that. He demands like active play. Like he wants me to be talking the people, like having situations go on. He will like assign me a certain little people thing, like you're playing with the construction set, you're playing with the dream house, or whatever it is. There is a dream house for little people. I think Biddy got it, and Uga has basically taken it over for his purposes. And a lot of the people he has, like they came with a vehicle or something. It was very clear like what their occupation was. Okay, that's Ambulance Annie. We gave them that name. Farmer Fred. We got Construction Coco and Construction Carlos. We've got all these people, okay? And then at Christmas time, he got this neat little grocery store. You can get it at Kohl's. And it came with a whole slew of random people. And so we just started naming them after characters on Days of Our Lives. And it's so funny. It's so funny to hear him calling, you know, okay, Paulina and Abe, they're out to lunch at the bistro. It's amazing. For blush, here's another classic example of just because it's underused for me does not mean it's underused for everyone else, because I've just not been reaching for my Rare Beauty blushes at all. This is a mini. The shade is called Hope. I pulled out one of my softer ones because I have another blush that I want to layer over it that I never used, a powder blush. So let's use some of this. Let's just get it going, y'all. I don't know why. Too many other blushes I'm excited about, and I feel like everybody knows about these. And also right now I feel like the drugstore is just in the process of every brand putting out their blush that's kind of like this, right? Elf and Wet n Wild so far, definitely putting out some good options. Oh, that shade was pretty. This is one of the relatively easy to manage ones. You can see the shade is just a bit more muted and soft. But note how both cheeks accomplished without dipping back in my tube for any more. Pretty. Is this one of the dewier ones? You know how some are matte, some are dewy? This one seems more dewy than some of my others. Oh, Rosie. Figure out where you want to go, girlfriend. She's wanted into the girls' room, out of the girls' room, and is now scratching to get back in. Meanwhile, Biscuits just wants to be here with me. She just wants to figure out what's going down in these videos. Okay, this, I never grabbed for this. My Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop Blusher from Charlotte Tilbury. The shade is called Love is the Drug. It's got that bright pink dot. And I'm just gonna pick that up on my blush brush here. I know it can be intense. So I'm gonna kind of start it out here and let it kind of veil downward a bit. Is that okay? Works for me. Watch out. Bullseye. Yay. Blush is fun, even if it's a blush you haven't used in a while. Actually, it can make it more fun. Just like with kids' toys. Hold some back for a while. Keep them back in a cabinet for a bit. We just rotated out my old Polly Pockets for the girls, and now yesterday I just put them back. Like I let them be kind of out on the table, and now they're back. Something else will come out to play. Actually, last night we did puzzle races. Oh yeah, our house is a real hoot. We're naming little people after Days of Our Lives, and we're having puzzle races. No, our town has a new dual Family Dollar Tree. So you know we've been there a couple times, and I got the girls each like a new puzzle, and it was not a big one. It was just kind of a fun puzzle, like a 48. Yeah, it was a 48-piece puzzle. One was like Gabby's Dollhouse, one was Disney. And last night they're finishing dinner and I'm like, we got all this free space on the table. Let's get a puzzle going out here. And I'd gotten these ones from the dollar store. They're sitting out. And I don't know who decided we should do them at the same time and race, but it was the girls against me. And they beat me the first round. And then my competitive self said, let's race each other on 100-piece puzzles. All the while Uga's sitting there taking his sweet time eating whatever it was I gave him. And I was victorious on the 100-piece puzzle race. I feel like that could be really fun with a group if you had enough like surface area to do it. Puzzle races, or maybe just 2 large puzzles with teams working on them. I know my next birthday idea. Okay, I pulled out this Wet n Wild highlighter. I actually got a mini of this in my last Walmart beauty box. Yeah, I'm glad I haven't dug into that knowing that I have this. But I never reach for this loose powder highlighter. I wonder why. It's kind of messy, but like I'll reach for loose powders. Why not the highlighter? Well, because a little goes a long way with this stuff. Okay. And she's really bright. So we're really gonna buff it, but it looks pretty. See that on that cheek? There's just like so much up in my cap, only using a tiny, tiny bit of that. I feel like I've just inhaled a bunch. I don't know, is it worth it? I have so many good pressed powder highlighters, and I think in a fight between this one and my Revlon Skin Lights, the Skin Lights would probably win, although this is pretty. Just use with caution. It's, oh, now it's officially everywhere. I might declutter. Frustration. It's all over my lap. Biscuits is just watching this with her eyes half open like, ugh. Generally speaking, I have not used a lot of setting sprays. I've been using my CoverGirl Prime & Glow Mist quite a bit lately. That's probably my most used setting spray. Now let's try to pull out one that hasn't been used enough, MAC Fix Plus. I do love the smell of this. This will be a happy reunion here with this. Yes. Happy Reunion, the name of the Chinese restaurant closest to our apartment when we first moved into the apartment. Somehow I got a bunch of that highlighter in my hair. For my brows, I have not been using my ABH Dip Brow, which I have in medium brown, so let's use some Dip Brow. Find a brow brush. Here's my one from Profusion. Go into it. I think I say this every time, but this is kind of a finesse type of product here. You gotta be able to be really light with it in your brows. I start in the middle of my brow where it's the thickest, so I don't go immediately laying down too much in a spot where I need it to look light. But we're just kind of gently guiding it on through. Just like barely dabbing in. It's a cream, okay? Trying not to do too much. I feel like I pulled out just like a few really frustrating products. This one isn't that frustrating, but like that Power Grip Primer, maybe as that thing has gotten older, it's gotten more tackier. That stuff was awful going across the skin. Who likes putting it on? Raise your hand if you like putting that on. There's probably a Daniel Tiger jingle about we can all like different things or something. Okay, I'm trying to brush it through. I'm trying to not go too hard. The reason why I don't grab for this much is because I think it's kind of fussy for every day. Unless you're into a really good flow with it, I just don't have the muscle memory with this. I'm gonna sneeze. Have you guys ever seen people who sneeze silently? One of the people at dance last week, I noticed them sneezing with no sound. How? Oh, and you best believe if I get the stomach flu, I throw up so loud. I seriously think people outside the house might hear. I think Bub's always like a little astonished when that happens. Like, wow. I knew she had some volume, but like how? Why do these processes have to happen so loudly? And then I am just loud. Okay, I'm gonna stop there on the brows. I think it's fine. It's fine. And then I have my e.l.f. brow lift that I never reach for. And I think I have a special tool for that. It's got a spoolie on one end and like a spatula. And I think I'm just put off by the whole spatula idea. I don't want to have to get into that in the morning. I don't know why. Do you ever have those things that just for no particular reason just make you go, I don't know. Yes, I did buy this. Okay, so I pick up some of that brow lift gel and I know this stuff works well. I get it. I don't really need the step of now we plaster it to the skin. I don't like that really. They're now standing on end. They look like they've just been power gripped again. There she goes. There she goes. They're fluffy. They're fluffin'. I remember when I did the woodland creature brows on me and my whole family for the trunk or treat this past fall. And I was really able to fluff them up. That's what this is reminding me of. Too much fluffy. This has taken entirely too long. Goodbye. For eyeshadow, I first just thought, okay, think of a brand that you feel like you have not reached for in a while. The brand that came to mind was Huda. And within Huda, the palette I've probably used the least, I pulled out Rose Quartz. Light shades, some shimmer. I don't know where we'll go with this today. Wouldn't have to be shimmery, honestly. There's quite a bit of matte sprinkled about, but I will prime. We are taking a little bit of Milani first. That's Milani eyeshadow primer. I do use that a lot. Dab it over. I want a little balm on, by the way. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Day Mask in Clear just to get the lips marinating. Rose Quartz. Let's go to Happiness right over here. Got this medium pink with like a little purple in it. We're gonna take that with the crease brush and we're just gonna get that going. Up in and above the crease. It's fun to revisit a palette you haven't grabbed for in a while. That is fun. Maybe this video will inspire someone else to do the same. Okay, so see how that's applying? Really pretty. Almost feeling a little softer on the skin than it looks in the palette. Like, I think you could lay it on thick too, don't get me wrong, but where I'm putting it, making it a little bit softer. Now how about we take a little bit of the shade called Cherished right here. So this is a matte. It's just lighter and brighter. And we let a little bit of that kind of blend up on the edge. I don't want a ton of whiteness up there, you know, but just a little. I like to see a matte kind of blend into another matte. Then I want to see Precious come in. Some of this little smoky gray. Let that come in. I'm using the same brush. I'm just pulling that into more of the crease. It's almost looking a little purpley, don't you think? As it layers over. It's for sure just straight up gray right there. But it's layering over the pink. It's making me think purple a little bit, which is fine. I'm open to that. Then I'm thinking about taking Mantra here. I've got a darker vision for this whole look that I'm going to do than you might imagine. I'm going to go down to Mantra, really dark matte. I'm just going to lay that down out here on my outer corner. Oh, I really like working with that shade. It's like a really dark charcoal with the possibility of a hint of plum in it too. Little plum just snuck in. These mattes are all looking really nice together so far. Anybody using this palette on the regular? It might be the season to be thinking about some lighter shades, but we are getting snow today. Oh yeah. It had to happen on a Friday afternoon when school lets out early, but I'll take it. I'll take it whenever I can get it. Okay, I need a little bit more softening here. Same shade, but now with crease brush. And then what if we try some of this deep taupe down here called Abundance? It does have shimmer. And just pull that over a lot of the lid. I don't think I usually pull this one in. I think I'm more like sidetracked by all the other bright shimmers. But this shade's pretty special too, right? Letting it pull up a little bit too. Up to the crease. Because when she's not catching the light, she's not as bright. That's pretty. That's actually way more reflective than I thought it was going to be though. It's this shade right here. I thought it was going to be darker. Okay. I had a vision for a darker look, but I do like how this palette offers a good amount of contrast in some different ways. Like we have browns up here. We have cooler grays. We have this dark shimmery thing up here, which let's take a little Empowered. Definitely got some navy blue in it, but that could kind of go around. Completely lost track of time and it's gotten a little bit late. Okay, and then I want to see a little bit of Empowered come down here too. I know a little bit risky taking a dark shimmer in this spot, but my brush is not overloaded. I'm just kind of carefully edging it on in. I think it's kind of a pretty look, friends. I like this. This has been a fun little rediscovered product. For speed purposes, I'm going to skip the liner and go to this Too Faced Naturally Better Than Sex mascara. I've only used it a couple of times, so I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. The tube color is really pretty. I love that pink. I'm reminded of how bunglesome and big this brush is, though. It's really easy to possibly make a mistake and tap yourself on the lid. There's like one coat. There we go. It's building on itself rather nicely. Hi. You've been a sleepyhead today. We haven't seen you yet. You were sleepy?
Hi.
What do you think of this eye look?
Beautiful.
Thank you. One of her Valentines. Check it out. Ah! It says you are wild. He or she got that right. Did you ever try to think as you made out your Valentines as a kid, like who you were giving it to and what the message was on it? Who was a childhood Valentine overthinker? I definitely thought too much. Nobody probably even read it. They just like grabbed the candy and went. And I remember it wasn't like big packages of candy. It was literally counting out like 4 or 5 conversation hearts at most. and putting them in your little envelope. That was just how it was. Of course, those were also the days when mamas could send in baked goods too. Okay, so my lashes are looking pretty good, I think. The times I've worn this recently, I've been a little worried about the curl dropping, so there's that. I'll put a little Cali Ray on the bottom. That's starting to get a little clumpy on me. For the lip that I haven't done a lot lately, I'm gonna pick a type of lip that I have not done much, and that's a nude. So I pulled out this product, which I also haven't used this product much. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche. It's number 113, Le Nude Admirable. I'm sure there's a more French way to say that. I'm gonna put this on. It's like a matte lipstick here, skinny lipstick. Ooh, I forgot to remove the little bit of balm I had on, but it actually made that go on really smoothly. So that's fine. And then I was thinking of a little gloss on top. This is from L'Oreal as well. It's called Blissful Blush. It's those glosses with like the rose gold cap. So this might add just a little more hint of pinkiness to this look. Really pretty nude lip. I'm trying to fight the urge to somehow darken it, but it's good. Now, a couple of things I would do here. Yes, I would add more blush, and I would go in with a little bit of Kosas Cloud Set, like this Cheek Pop blush. I'm gonna stay a little bit around the perimeter, a bit more coming up forward. It doesn't all need to exist on the side of the face. I don't care. Let it be seen when you smile. And then watch this finishing touch, because I can see where I would, exactly where I would want to put this. My Kosas Cloud Set in Airy. Dabbing it right up in here. Around the nose. This eye too. That seam between under eye and blush. And right in here. The whole thing just looks a little more perfected after you do that. Alrighty guys, so there's my finished look. Kind of an ethereal sort of, I don't know, it feels a little icy to me, just a little bit. I like it. I came around to like the look. There are some things that I really do realize why I haven't reached for them a lot. Loose powder highlighter, this, I think I'm gonna declutter those. This foundation, like it looks pretty. It's just not been all it's cracked up to be to me. Like I put it on and I'm kind of underwhelmed by it. And I'm not as gaga over the fact that powder is included as I thought I'd be. I think that was kind of the selling point for me, and it sort of turned out to be not so amazing. I think MAC Pro Longwear Concealer is a real workhorse product. I think it covers well, I think it wears well, and I will be grabbing for it more. I'm gonna try to work this concealer into more things, this brightener. I have it, I should use it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I'm gonna be creating a lot more brows with Dip Brow and e.l.f. Brow Lift. I'm not nuts about that method. I just find it fussy. I really did like my blush and bronzer on all levels. Also the Rare Beauty. Oh, whoa. You just came silently creeping. I like the Rare Beauty. I like all the different things that I put on there. No problem with that. And I enjoyed using my Huda Rose Quartz again. I think this palette has a lot more versatility than the way I have it pegged in my mind, you know? Sometimes I store away my makeup in my head in a different way than it actually is, and this has quite a bit more range than I thought. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy videos like this where we get into some products that aren't talked about every day. I know some of these things are loved by many people, but I just haven't used them as much. So thank you for your time, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.
Nikki says give her a thumbs up. Give
her a thumbs up? Okay.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. Oh, she's saying to do that for me? Oh, that's very nice.
Best Bobby in the world.
Oh, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.